Hi, I'm Dr. Mike.
And I'm Noah.
And this is the NFGeeks Christmas Movie Special. Yay.
Yay.
All right, Noah, thanks again for doing this. All right. For this episode, yesterday's when we did Noah's, that was
Gremlins.
Gremlins, that's the one that he picked. And this is the one that I picked, and it's very special for me. And that is Batman Returns.
Yep.
Yes, a Christmas movie. The one Batman Christmas movie.
Is it?
Well, yeah, I think it's the only one that takes place on Christmas. I can't think of any others.
Oh, all right.
You know, but so we're counting it as a Christmas movie. Now, the first thing I want to say, is I think this movie is an underrated superhero movie. I wouldn't put it at the top, but I actually think it gets a bum rap that it totally doesn't deserve. It delivers on many levels.
Even though I'm a Marvel, and I do think this is an odd movie.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I would also say that it's kind of underrated. I would put it above some of the crappier Marvel movies, such as that third X-Men movie and that third Spider-Man movie, the one with Tobey Maguire.
Right.
Obviously, they haven't gotten to the next one, but yeah, it's definitely better than some of those.
Yep, and it's obviously better than the two Joel Schumacher Batman. Goes without saying.
Batnips.
That's right. It goes without, So I really think it's a lot better than people give it credit for. That doesn't mean it doesn't have some flaws, It certainly does. One of the things I like about the movie, and you have an opinion on this, even though you're not a DC, is that that's
a special club you have to get into.
Yeah, kind of. This outfit, the bat suit, is actually my favorite incarnation of the bat suit in Batman Returns. And
Batman.
What?
It was in the first one too.
No, this was if you look, they're not exactly the same. This is a slimmed down version.
Really?
Yes, it actually is slimmer and looks better.
Geez.
Yeah, they got a better version of it. So this one is actually my favorite. And in the great DC Batman argument, again, if you're not a Bat nerd, this won't matter. But in the great Batman DC argument of fans, oval or no oval, Bat oval or no oval, oval. I'm an oval guy. I like the yellow oval with the bat symbol. I'm into that. I always have. That doesn't mean I don't like the current, but I like that. I'm an oval guy.
Okay, I just don't get the oval because, the whole thing about Batman is darkness and kind of being, stealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not exactly stealthy with a giant yellow black bat thing.
Well, I'd like to think that in the dark it wouldn't matter. But I like
I guess it's what you made the yellow out of.
Yeah, I suppose, right.
I mean,
it couldn't be light. It couldn't light up. That would be bad.
Well,
it'd flash.
No, what was it? No, was it Spider-Man? I remember some superhero thing. Maybe it's not a movie. No, it's a cartoon where they have their symbol on a thing and they use it to spot the light down, kind of like the Batman thing, but down onto
Oh, that's a good idea.
I think it was Spider-Man.
Wow.
For a cartoon.
Well, jeez, they should do that. I just like the way it looks. I like it as a symbol. I just like the, I realize it may not be perfect for the stealthiness.
Yeah,
but I'd like to think that if you saw it from a distance, you'd shit yourself. You know what I mean? Because you'd be like, oh my god, it's Batman. You know what I mean?
Why didn't they put it in Arkham City?
There's a little bit of me that does think that. I won't lie. All right, so let's get to the movie itself. Now, some of the things, though, are pretty... it's got some sort of over-the-top weird things going on in it, It's
a little more than that, but yeah.
One of the things, I just thought of now, because I remember I had a good laugh, is that, that thing in the beginning where they put up the bat signal and then these crystal-like things around Wayne Manor,
the
mirrors or whatever they are, and then so that it shines into his house, this giant bat symbol into his house. Because, he wouldn't figure that out, He needs that extra... into his own living room.
It's a cool scene.
It's very cool because it's just above his head.
Right. But in reality, it's completely absurd because, first, the original bat light is just, big and in the sky.
As it is, right.
You would notice it.
Yes.
But he has this mechanism that somehow gets that light, shines it through, and right into his house.
Yeah, why would he need that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, why does he need that? He's not going to figure it out on his own.
Apparently not.
You know? But that's okay. You know what's funny, too, is before that, he's sitting in the dark. Like, it's really weird. Like, it's just how weird he is, right? It's very INTJ.
Yeah.
You know? He's just in the dark. He's not doing anything. You know?
Right.
All right, another issue I had, Noah, is
Issue?
that issue
Okay.
that I had was with the Bat technology, that I felt like the Batmobile was built almost too specific to the events of the movie. It's almost like he built it thinking, well, I may be being chased by cops and have to go through an alley the size of a kitchen. So I better build the Batmobile so that it shrinks down.
Okay.
Like, you know, like, how did he know that? Or I better make the Batmobile able to spin around because you never know if there's a guy with fire behind me and I may want to hit him
Okay.
with fire.
You're being a bit of a hypocrite.
All right, but you don't think that's absurd?
Yeah, but again, you always talk about Batman like he can solve literally any problem.
Well, that's
so
true.
for you to hate on that, okay, or just not like it, is like contradicting your view of Batman.
Well, I admit that it does, you know, reinforce the idea that you can't beat Batman. Batman beats everybody. You can't win going up against Batman. But all right, but it does seem absurd that, like, why would he have these long things stick out just that he could hit people on stilts? How does he know he's going to be hitting guys on stilts?
Well, to be honest, there are more uses for that particular.
What like what?
Hitting normal guys and breaking their legs.
Hey, speaking of which, usually people think of Batman as being non-violent. There's some potential deaths that Batman causes. You know, like, first of all, there's the guy who's behind the Bat engine. Remember that? He catches on fire. Batman lights somebody on fire. You don't see that in Arkham City.
Okay, again, I think it's more. Well, this is my point of view, that it's more like kind of like the Gremlin thing, in that, like, the thing that is hurt is coming off as evil, so you kind of care less that it's getting hurt.
Yeah, all right, that's true. And you know what's funny? I cut it some more slack because it's Batman, and Batman. You know, because I'm Batman. So because it's Batman, I kind of cut him some slack on that. But there's also the guy, he takes the dynamite time bomb and puts him in a thing.
And does the meme face.
Right, that's the meme face. That
Right,
Batman Returns, if for no other reason,
right,
is worthy of that. That's right. You know. But then, we assume he dies. I mean, he blows up. I don't know. I mean.
Yeah, I think he falls and then blows up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you find he meets, though, good superhero criteria in this movie? Like.
Actually, he's one of the better Batmans to me, because out of all the Batman incarnation movie-wise, Michael Keaton's Batman is much more detective-like. Much more like you feel with his Batman, he's trying to figure something out and do something. With the Christopher Nolan Batman, you're watching it because you want to see Batman kick ass.
Right.
But this one, it's a bit intriguing, I have to say. He does the detectiveness of Batman well.
Yes.
In this and the first one. I have to watch the first one again.
Yeah, well, maybe that'll come up for another movie review. You know. One bit of his I'm being facetious with this one, but one of his detectiveness is when he drives by the Penguin in the car. Like, I think that's funny. I was like, does Batman just slowly cruise around?
Right. We need to set this up.
He's like he's stalking the Penguin.
Okay, there's this scene right after, like, Batman's watching TV about the Penguin or something, where, like, it's a snowy night and Batman is just cruising around in the Batmobile, and the Batmobile slowly like creeps up to, like, the building the Penguin happens to be in, and Batman looks inside at the Penguin and then drives off slowly. Like, it's kind of a silent scene, no talking really happened.
And it's
kind of creepy.
It is creepy, and they're really close. Like, Batman could take, like, a cup, and if there was no window, like, just knock him in the head. Like, really, the distance is like the distance between the walls of our
kitchen. The fact that the Penguin didn't see him is a bit, odd, honestly.
It is strange. All right, so let's talk about some Myers-Briggs stuff with Batman. And my first thing I want to say is that this is absolutely the most emo Batman of all. And, Tim Burton puts the goth in Gotham. Really. It is so Emo. I mean, everything is so emo about it. How do you feel about that?
Nobody likes me.
Yeah, I know. Really.
I have nothing to live for.
I'm going to put on costumes.
Right? Didn't we say at the beginning of the movie that literally the colors were so drab you couldn't tell if it was black or white movie from a color movie?
This is how crazy Tim Burton is. Watch Batman Returns. Most of the movie looks like it's in black and white. It's so gray and white and black.
He used the colors to such an advantage. It's you can't tell.
Right, you'd think it was a black and white movie until Batman shows up with that yellow thing, and you realize, oh my God, this isn't a black and white movie.
It's in color.
He purposely made these colors the colors.
Right, and it does set the feel. I have to say, it does set the feel pretty.
Right, feel that's the right word. So two things then I want you to comment on. One is that first of all, one emo thing about this. It's very NF. This is a very NF Batman.
Yeah, it's kind of, I can kind of see why SJs or maybe people who don't get NF exactly might have backed away from this movie.
One thing is that all everyone's sort of broken in this movie. They've all had these horrible pasts and presents. they're all like broken people. Even the Penguin. The Penguin's all broken up. Abandoned at birth, and Catwoman is a wreck. From whatever happened to her. And, of course, Bruce Wayne, he's a wreck. Everyone's sort of wrestling with their brokenness and basically fumbling and bumbling through it. Not doing a good job. Nobody's doing a good job. Bruce Wayne's doing the best job, but...
Well, that's because he set up the new persona. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. He's got some hours in,
My parents.
So what about, so what do you think? That part of it, all these characters are very sort of broken, messed up, dysfunctional
and then when you
people.
Put them
Everyone's dysfunctional, that's my point.
When you put them all in together, it only causes calamity.
Right, like a dysfunctional family.
Right.
Like a totally dysfunctional family. That's exactly what
I guess that would make... Oh, that's funny. That makes Batman the father, Catwoman the mother, and I guess the Penguin the child.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go. That's a wonderful family right there. One of my favorite, though, actually one of my favorite Batman scenes in all of Batman... Batman is in this movie, and that's when Batman and Catwoman have the thing with the mistletoe, and then that comes up again at the masquerade ball.
Right.
That's emo. That's NF. Only an NF would come up with that idea, and then put it in there.
And then, the symbolism of the ball, because, it's supposed to be this, again, masquerade, masks and everything, and the only people that don't show up with masks are Batman and Catwoman.
Yes. And, they did something very similar in The Dark Knight Rises when Batman and Catwoman have a dance at a ball. And I think there's masks in that one, too. It doesn't pull it off as well.
No, because it didn't set up their that happened
it's
really early on.
Yes, that's right.
So it didn't set up the relationship between them.
Yes.
Enough.
Right, you feel like Catwoman and Batman have a relationship as Catwoman and Batman and as Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne. You feel that there's an emotional point. There's an emotional connection. Although I don't see the appeal of Selina Kyle in this movie because she seems cray. But
crazy. She's hot.
Well, it's Michelle Pfeiffer, and I like Michelle Pfeiffer. But she seems crazy. She seems crazier.
She apparently knows how to do a lot of cartwheels.
Yeah, that goes back to the weird thing. How did she learn? She wasn't doing cartwheels prior to the fall.
Well, I'm sure it was a stunt double or something.
No, I know that, but why would you, from falling off a building, learn to do cartwheels?
Right. Sorry.
That's what I mean. So that's very emo. I also thought this other thing about how emo it is how Catwoman's suit is pieces sewn together. It's like being a broken person.
And her whole thing is and she's freaking out all the time because she is a broken person. She's crying, doesn't know what to do.
That's right. And it's always putting it together.
No.
Do you like that?
Yeah, it's weird, man. I really think Tim Burton was trying to do way too much symbolism and depth in this movie, where in some cases he went full through with it.
Oh yeah, full blown NF shit.
Right. He either went through with it and you got it, he missed it, or he wasn't able to finish it, leaving you with a weird taste.
Well, I think if it had a better plot, that would have helped. You know what I mean? You would have done with it. You would have been fine with it if the plot was a little better.
Mm-hmm.
But because the end, it's like you have two endings. Like you have okay, Batman stops the whole kid thing, and then he stops the Penguin, revolution, which is just crazy.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
But then he tries to save Catwoman. There's three things. It's too many. But I think if it had some emotional ups. There's no emotional ups in this movie. It's all NF, depressive, melancholy. Allegedly he's an INFP.
Who?
Did you know that? Tim Burton.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So I think that might have something to do with it.
Trying to just bring everyone down.
Yeah, let me be in the melancholy swamp. And really, Batman, it starts off depressing. Even the end is
So I have to say, he did, of all the guys to, have the Batman story, I don't know, giving it to the guy that could totally get into that.
Yes, and I'll say this is what I like about Batman Returns. It's got depth. Say what you want about it. It may be crazy, but it's not shallow. It's not a shallow movie. It may be a nonsensical movie, a bizarre movie, but it's not. It has an emotional, depth to it. All right, so let's talk about Christmas and how Christmas relates to Batman Returns. And I'll tell you this, I made that comment in the other movie about California. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll gladly spend Christmas in California over Gotham because...
Okay, because that's because you turn the corner and you're going to get murdered.
Right, Gotham is horrible every Christmas. You know what I mean?
In every incarnation.
Right, in every incarnation, Gotham is not the city you want to have Christmas in. So I
know, the fact that they celebrate Christmas still is amazing.
Yeah, really. Why would you even go outside? All right, so what do you think about the Christmas angle of Batman? I almost said The Dark Knight Rises. Batman Returns.
This is, in the movie, it's kind of weird. Christmas is there, but it's not I don't think it's really tying anything really together plot-wise. It's there just to be there to say not only is all the screwed up things happening, but it's all happening in and around Christmas.
Yes, and that's exactly what the postmodern interpretation would say, is that this is like an anti-Christmas movie, meaning that Christmas is there, but it's not impacting anything. It's not having any...
Right,
the world is still a horrible, depressing, melancholy world in spite of Christmas being right in the center of it.
Yeah, it's really not doing anything in Batman Returns. Whereas in, the other two movies,
it's somewhat present.
Right, it's present and, definitely referenced way more often.
Yeah, I mean, really, nobody gets any presents. Alfred's buying presents at one point. But even the presents, even, trying to light the tree is filled with trauma.
Twice,
right, twice. Why would you even go to a tree lighting after that? Twice there was trauma.
Right.
The second time, someone died.
No, wait.
The woman, she fell.
Yeah. And it's weird because, in a movie like this, or any superhero movie, you see her falling, and your first thought is, oh, she's gonna get saved. Batman's gonna fly down and grab her or something. No, she falls right on the box.
Yeah,
she just dies. She falls and dies.
Right, and then did they know she was gonna fall on the box? How did they see that? That's another thing. How did the Penguin know? Did they got her into the right spot?
I don't know. Well, they somehow attained the stuff for the Batmobile.
Yeah.
So
very resourceful.
I'm sure they were able to figure out the trajectory.
I know I'm asking too many nerd questions.
Yeah, you're going a bit too into it.
I know.
Well, it is
That's
Batman.
wrong.
It's your thing.
Yeah.
So I guess we can give you some slack.
Yeah, but I shouldn't say that. It's good. It's cool. I love it. All right. One of the things I like about, or try to make the Christmas connection, is that there are some bizarre magical things that are going on in Batman Returns that doesn't happen in the other movies.
Religious magical, or Christmas, secular magical.
I would say it's secular magical, but it's magical.
Okay.
So, for example, how does Selena Kyle first survive?
Resurrect,
and gets her powers from cats?
Yeah, it's...
You know what I mean?
I think she does get powers, though.
Right.
She does have that 9 lives thing.
Oh, and then there's the thing where they're sucking on her finger. Remember that?
Yeah, it was weird.
It's
weird. It was creepy.
And it was also creepy, too. And so she goes to this weird transformation in her apartment, which is traumatizing in there. But there's funny, because this relates to the other scene, is that when she takes the stuffed animals.
Right, she takes a bunch of stuffed animals and stuffs them into her sink that has
the garbage disposal. Right.
And just starts stabbing them into it.
Yes, and it was actually more disturbing than the gremlin getting
getting
killed
blendered.
in the blender. It was actually somehow more disturbing because she was doing it and she was all like
Right,
loving
because,
it.
like,
And then all the cotton's coming out like blood, but it's just cotton.
Right. That's because, like, because again, stuffed animals don't symbolize evil or bad or whatever. Like, they're a neutral thing that's kind of sweet. So to see her do that is horrifying.
Yes. And, a lot of bad things happen. Like, one of the funny things is we're talking about Christmas, how it's juxtaposed. Like, here it is Christmas, but all these awful things happen. It implies that the penguin's parents dumped him into the river on Christmas Eve. Like, basically, it's
Right,
Christmas
because you see
Eve.
the tree.
Right,
Right,
you see the tree
beforehand.
Right, so it's implied that it's Christmas Eve, and they dump him into the river, their bird baby.
Oh, God, it's so horrifying.
Yes. Now, one of the...
And what's screwed up, again, to go back to the other things we were talking about, like, that's actually a hypothetical thing that could happen.
Right.
Like a parent, like, just getting rid of a child
Right.
like that. It's like that makes it
Abandoning
more
a
screwed
child,
up.
yes.
Like, it's not like some magical thing, like Superman getting shot from the planet so that he's saved. No, it's like, yeah, we're gonna chuck our baby because we think he's ugly.
Yeah, that's right. We don't want to take responsibility. For
Right,
this
it's
baby,
horrible.
Because
it's too real.
Yes. All right, no, there's just one more thing I wanted to bring up, and that is, I think the defining scene of Batman Returns, which is Penguin's death.
Do we really have to talk about this?
Yes, we do.
This goes over the edge. This is too weird.
Well, it's magical. First of all, it's wonderfully magical. It's like
bizarrely magical.
Yeah, it's the most bizarre. I think this is the scene that actually pushed it over the edge with people.
Yeah, I can see why.
All right, so why don't you tell us what happens?
Okay, let's see. After getting the crap kicked out of him, Penguin, like, slowly, like, I don't know, not the word stumble, but, like, he gradually makes his way back to his lair. And, like, his mouth is gushing this weird black-green stuff that you've kind of seen in his mouth throughout the movie. Excuse me, sorry. He's just gushing now. It's really weird. And he goes over, grabs an umbrella, and it turns out to be the kid one, which I don't know what that's symbolizing.
Yeah, boy, we forgot to talk about that. Jesus.
And,
yeah, a lot of kid symbols throughout it. The ducky.
Yeah, it's
and
weird.
That's in front of his little cage, too.
Right. Anyways, oh, God. Anyway, he, like, drops it, says his few last words about, like, getting a cold drink of water, and then falls face first, like a fat mess, right onto the ledge. And then the weirdest things happen.
That's
where
right.
These
the penguin pallbearers.
Apparently, like, these big penguins come out. Like, I don't think they're real, though. But they come out, and they slowly, like, walk, like, up to him and start dragging his body into the water.
Yes, like pallbearers, like 3 on each side. And what's great is they come out from behind. Like, why?
Like,
who knows?
right,
but they come out,
too.
like, from behind and come around, and then they push him into the water. And then when he's dead, he's floating down. You see his face. You can see the penguins
Looking
up through the
down
water
at him.
looking down at him. All
Man.
right, so my Christmas connection is that they're magical penguins, just like the reindeer are magical. So you got magical reindeer. These
Since
are
when
magical.
do the reindeer give, like,
Well, they don't. They
Santa a burial?
Well, if Santa died, I'm sure they would. But these are penguins.
You're ruining small children's Christmases. You know that?
But the pallbearer penguins are magically coming. Just like the 8 reindeer in a row. The pallbearers are in a row. The penguin pallbearers.
God.
The magical.
Why do you gotta make it depressing?
Well, all right, but that is the memorable scene. I mean, boy, it stays with you.
It's
penguins.
I think that's
penguin funeral with the penguin pallbearers. Yeah, that stays with you.
Yeah, I think that's one of the scenes that really made people like back. That was definitely the scene.
Yeah, it's not gross, but it is really creepy and weird.
Right, like.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough to handle.
All right, well, I think that's it. Thanks, Noah, once again.
Of course.
And don't forget to follow NFGeeks on Twitter and Tumblr, and come join the fun on the NFGeeks Facebook forum.
Because it's happening.
That's right, it's happening.
It's happening.